skeptic to accept, because certain things that happened in last 4 to 5 months, it is something which we have not faced till now. But still, we are now, getting habituated with these things, that we are now getting these things acceptable. So, with this, I would like to introduce our three experts, those who would be having and giving focus on or throwing the light on this particular topic. We have Mr. Bhagat Singh Darak, who is currently serving and giving his expertise as Managing Director of Highfield AG Camp Private Limited. The major motto of this particular industry or the organization is, the motto says that a tree stands stronger when its roots grow deep. So this is what the motto of Highfield AG Chem Private Limited is. So I welcome you on behalf of the Parul University family, Bhagat Singh.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yeah. The second panel member that we have is Mr. gap between farmers and strives to bring state of art technologies in the hands of each and every farmer. So you being into the field of digital media, to connect the students and farmers to a digital platform, which definitely will help us a lot in the future, because
Yes.
currently we're observing so many digital platforms where we can definitely strive together to get the better opportunity. So I welcome you also, Adrit sir.
Thank you.
And we have our third panel member, Mr. Santosh Nair, sir, who is currently giving his expertise as Senior Director to Parul University. And sir is currently taking care of three different verticals at a university level, which includes three very important vertices. That is, first, training and placement; second is career development cell; and third includes these. Yeah, so a very warm welcome to all the panel members.
Thank you.
I hope the
Yes, Ankit, I think your voice is stopping.
yeah.
Ankit,
So,
I think there is some issue with the internet connectivity, I guess.
I think we face some technological glitches in between.
Right.
Okay.
I'm pardon for
Maybe
this.
if your internet connectivity is low, then you can switch off your camera.
Yeah, sure. So I hope the audio is clear now.
Yes, the audio is clear.
Perfect. So with this, I would like to start the conversation.
Ankit, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Mhm.
I think other two panel members, the audio is clear, correct?
Yes, it's clear.
Yeah, the audio is clear, I think.
Yes, the audio is clear.
Perfect. So I would like to request Bhagat Singh Darak sir to share his views on this particular topic that we have there for this particular panel discussion. Please, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone.
Very good afternoon, sir.
I'm really thankful management of Parul University for inviting me for this wonderful session. And it's a very important topic. Everybody is concerned about, yes, post-COVID, situation.
Internet.
Thank you, Ankit, for coordinating so well. Hello to Mr. Santosh Nair, who's the director. So it's a pleasure to share the dais with you. And Mr. Adrij, hello to you.
Yeah, thank you.
All my dear viewers, friends and students. I belong to agrochemical industry. It's a small scale unit, started in 1995. Highfield AG. We're into manufacturing of agrochemicals like insecticides, fungicides, plant growth regulators, and biostimulants. So in this today's session, definitely I would like to throw light on some past of the agrochemical industry, the present and definitely post-COVID possibilities in this industry. If we have a bird's eye view of this industry, we can see the not more than 800 manufacturers in India, or you can say formulators, who are manufacturing, say, like around 250 to 300 molecules. And the complete agrochemical industry is just around these 300 molecules only. If we speak about the agrochemicals, which are meant for controlling insects, fungus, bacteria, acaricides, or you may say rodents. So this industry is very interesting. It's growing by say around 8 to 9% every year. Come what may, the situation, monsoon or no monsoons or less monsoons. After BT cotton, the industry suffered a setback of around 15%. It means there are big threats to the industry in case a different development happens, which may definitely impact the uses of agrochemicals. So if we see the consumption of insecticides was reduced from say almost 63% to 50% just after introduction of BT cotton. So this industry is mainly governed by 15 major companies who almost cover 80% of the total agrochemical market in India, which includes almost 10 multinational companies. There are around 800 formulators which belong to small scale and medium scale. They hardly accounts to 20% of the total agrochemical sales in India. But vice versa, if you see the growth of organic fertilizer industry, last 1 decade, almost 60% of the total market is in hands of cottage and small scale industry. 25% market in hands of medium scale industry, and only 5 to 10% in hands of some multinationals or Indian giants. The study shows there is an increasing trend of herbicides. So share of insecticides is reducing and share of herbicides is increasing. Last 6 months, we have seen a great change happening in the habits of the dealers, the companies, all the manufacturers, all the stockists. And it seems the industry is accepting a new normal. Whereas every industry used to have huge inventories, we can see there are shortages of more than 55 agrochemicals in the market. The availability is scarce. The stocks with the dealers, distributors, and the company is scarce. But still, the agriculture is flourishing because of better monsoons this year. So post-COVID, what exactly is going to change is a real big question. But thanks to the Indian government, who took all the due care for all the agro sector, they kept it open for all the activities, right from farming, selling in the mandis, and manufacturing setups of all the fertilizers and pesticide companies. We are seeing an impact of say around 20% on the turnover of all the agrochemical manufacturers. So it's going to reduce by 20%. There are some molecules which are under patent and are doing very well. There is almost a growth of 35% of those specific chemicals. After 2009, more than 60 new molecules Indian market have seen coming in, which have replaced more than 100 molecules, of which more than 15 molecules have been banned by the Indian government because of high toxic levels in the food grains. So if we compare the agrochemical industry like inorganic and organic farming, more than 20% of horticulture belts have been converted into organic farming. More than 80% of the chemicals used by these horticulturists are from animal or plant source. Either they are extracts for stimulating the growth of the crops, or these are the extracts for controlling various kinds of pests. The growth of organic fertilizers or say biostimulants is 50% year over year, and that's huge. That's big. So post-COVID also, this particular growth, we are able to see. If you might have seen some statistics from FICCI or CII, they're like very positive about the growth of organic fertilizers and stimulants, looking to the change in the habits of the people who are now inclined towards having more safer foods. So maybe thanks to Corona, it will bring a great change in the people's habit of growing crops and definitely consuming it. So Ankit, I think that's an overview of our agrochemical industry pre-COVID and post-COVID. Definitely, I would like to answer whatever questions you may have. Thank you.
Sure, sir. So, as per the format, what we'll do first is that we'll let all the panel members first give the brief about the topic from their point of view. And then after, I'll get back to you with certain questions that our students or the viewers have. I think from your briefing, I get to know that, many things we have positivity also. I can see that, okay, government is there to help, people are there to consume, and definitely agriculture is the industry which is growing, because as people grow with them, agriculture is also something which is needed to grow. So thanks a lot, sir, for all your briefing out points. Moving ahead, I would like to invite Adrit sir to say few words on this particular topic, that is role of agriculture industries in boosting the economy. Adrit sir.
Hello, Ankit ji. Actually, I am very much thankful to Parul University for giving me a chance to talk on this very important issue. And I would also like to thank Mr. Ankit ji because I remember the last time I gave intern training to some of the students. So I know that Parul University is doing a great job. And today's topic is very important because I also wanted to involve myself in this type of topics where I can actually put some problems and where the future students are going to solve this problem or they can be a part of the solution. So first of all, I would like to tell something about remote sensing applications in agriculture, and which we find that nowadays it is very much important. And how the concept actually works, I will just try to give a little bit example. So we all know that means human observation of plants. We actually are uh, we can see only some particular wavelengths of light, but there are many other factors which actually make us unable to see the condition of the plant, because just by looking at the plant we can't understand whether any problem is coming or not. So these issues are actually very well sensed by remote sensing platforms such as satellite, drones, even automobile, unmanned aerial vehicles, and all these things. Now, as we all know that our population means, if we talk of India as an example, so our population is expected to I think surpass China by 2030. So which is actually a big issue that our government will be facing. And on the other side, the land holding capacity of farmers are decreasing, and on the other way, the amount of resources due to climate change, there is increase of intensity in the floods and droughts. There is less water shortage in the winter season. There is over water in the monsoons due to floods and all these things. So there are various issues which make very difficult to do agriculture nowadays. And I think one of the main problem that our farmer people face is the climate change. And apart from that, also there are pest issues. There are several type of other factors which actually make it very difficult for farmers to grow crops in such a way that we are able to make our country food surplus with the increasing population. So this is very going to be a very difficult task. Now, this remote sensing technology, it is the one of the direct example of digital agriculture, or say digitization of agriculture. So basically, by going to terms, digital agriculture means that we are incorporating any software hardware, and we are able to get information of the whole field in terms of its crop health, in terms of its crop stress, in terms of its nutrient requirement, and all these things. So all these things is possible in a single platform, which can be very easily captured by satellite or drones. So now, before this COVID situation arose, there were already means there the problems were already were there, because the shortage of labor was there, and nowadays the labor cost is also increasing. So it is very difficult in the rural areas to find a agricultural labor, because they find it much more comfortable to work in other industries, say construction industry or automobile industry. So there the laborers are also paid very high as compared to agricultural labor. So these issues actually make or say compel the farmer community to shift to other industries. So I recently, the for the last 6 months, I have been involved with working with talking with farmers from all over Gujarat. So I have seen many farmers who, once they were involved in agriculture, they shifted to textile industry. From Surat, from Rajkot, I have talked to several farmers who actually shifted to textile industry. But after lockdown, they now are telling me that, sir, we want to involve in agriculture because due to COVID situation, all our businesses has been disrupted, and we find it that agriculture is the only sustainable thing that will happen in any situation in any time. So means, going by very basic means, agriculture is the first and foremost thing, because we can't live without it. Without water, without agriculture, nobody can sustain. So this becomes a very crucial issue, that we are able to channelize all the agricultural parameters right from the field to the farm. So we should channelize these things very clearly, and also turn this agricultural profession into a profitable profession, because if everybody diverts from agriculture, then there will be a very big issue that some countries have already faced in some other regions, but we will also face, and we will face it very badly, because our population is increasing and our land holding capacity of each farmer is decreasing. So there are many factors which actually put a hindrance to the food surplus. To become India a food surplus country, there are many hindrances. So first of all, due to excessive cost involved. So in earlier days, what happened? There was the tradition of doing extensive agriculture. So extensive agriculture means, to increase the output, we are bringing more lands, more open lands under agriculture, and we are increasing the harvest from each field, or say harvest from all the field. So this was known as extensive agriculture. But right now, these things are not possible, because the land holding capacity of farmers is decreasing, the soil quality, the water quality is deteriorating. So extensive agriculture is not possible. Now, there was another option which actually many countries did, such as Israel, Singapore, and several other European countries. They tried, say, vertical farming. So Israel is one of the countries which was actually very hostile to agriculture, but due to their own efforts, they have created a marvelous example of how things can change. So they Israel set a very good example of intensive agriculture. Intensive agriculture means the our input of capital that is required for doing an agricultural farming, this is very high, but the output that is generated from the field is also very high. But if we think of Indian condition, this intensive agriculture is a very big issue, because our farmer people will not be able to do all this high tech farming with a very high cost associated with it. Now, remote sensing technology provides a very cheap platform to do intensive agriculture, because here we are identifying the regions in the field where plant growth is not normal. Now, it can be due to pest attack, it can be due to nutrient deficiency, it can be due to water stress. So, it becomes very easy to get an overall idea, or regularly, in terms of regular interval, we are getting satellite images, or say if we fly drone, then we are getting the fly drone images. So what will happen? We are getting a constant regular information of the field. So how this digitization will help? This will help. This technology will help the farmers in optimizing their chemicals, pesticides, and fields, water management. All these processes will be optimized. And what will happen in a turn? They will be able to save cost on spending, say, extra amount of chemicals in the field, because they will be applying all these pesticides, fertilizers, and all these things in the required areas. And apart from that, say in water shortage area, where water availability of water becomes a big issue, so there they can save water by using this technology, because we know that in many states, means I come from a state, Assam. So here we have lot of abundant rainfall. But there is another thing issue which is present in Rajasthan, or say some western parts, where availability of rainfall is very difficult. This becomes a big issue. So this remote sensing technology will help the farmers in these areas, because water management will be very easy, because the satellite images, or say the remote sensing platforms that we use, this help us to identify the regions of water stress. So this water management will be very easy due to this technology. And apart from that, since we are monitoring, the farmers will be monitoring their own field, or say our field associates will be helping the farmers to understand, or the reports or the results. So what will happen? They will be able to take the precautions very early, which will prevent further crop losses in their field, and ultimately it will lead to higher harvest from the field. So basically, this is a good example of digital agriculture, where we are means there can be other things also associated with it, such as IoT, Internet of Things sensors. Say we are putting some sensors in the field. We are we are putting a weather station there. So currently, Pharmonaut also provides the weather data, weather forecast data. So which itself is a part of digitizing agriculture. So basically, this is means to give some idea to the students who actually want to learn something about digitization of agriculture, or who want to find some opportunities in this upcoming industry, because it is estimated that means some reports I have seen some reports where it has been mentioned that the number of farmers means the farmers some farmers are actually diverting from the agriculture, but on the other hand, some communities says some from students are much more interested to study agriculture nowadays, because they find that after studying some proper concepts, they are able to help their own farming. So this is a very positive side from the students perspective, because now students are very much interested to study agriculture, to apply some modern techniques of farming and all this thing. So I think, Ankit ji, I would like to pass my means I will try to complete my introduction in this part, because I think just I am able to make the students little bit familiar with the concepts of remote sensing and digitizing farming, or say precision farming. Yeah, last before completing, I would like to talk about precision agriculture. So precision agriculture means applying whatever is needed at the correct location. So this is what we are exactly doing in remote sensing application. Okay, Ankit ji, thank you.
Thanks a lot, Adrit. So it's very good to hear that now Indian farmers are not only doing the farming on the fields, but now they are getting digitalized by the companies like yours, by which they can definitely understand and grow more crops and get the more outcome. So with this, now moving ahead with our third panel member, Mr. Santosh Nair. Santosh, sir, I would like you also to brief us about the topic which we are discussing today.
Okay, thank you, Ankit. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, so a very good afternoon to both the panel members, at the same time to all the audience who are currently live for this particular session. Now, as particularly I am not from the agricultural background, so I would like to give a more generic view about the agriculture sector. And the today's generation, many things the current generation is not aware of, right? So I'll just like to throw some light over it, that why agriculture sector is one of the most important aspects for development of the entire economy for a particular nation, right? So now many few of you might be aware that Indian economy was an agrarian economy a couple of decades ago, right? And but due to certain policy paralysis and a lack of protectionist laws and everything for this particular sector, we have lost that particular status of agrarian economy. Definitely, industrial revolution came into place, and slowly and gradually, the I would say contribution of agriculture also went down in terms of the overall GDP as well, particularly for India. But that is not because of more growth in the industrial sector, but that is because of lack of growth in the agricultural sector. So to be means it's like if you see the overall aspect, agriculture is one of the building blocks of any developing economy. Whether it is England, if we take the economy of England, which is also one of the best doing economies, it started with agricultural revolution, and thereafter this they went to the industrial revolution. Whether if you consider the case of US or Japan as well, so there also the agricultural development helped to a greater extent in the process of their own industrialization. At the same time, there are a lot of underdeveloped countries which actually tried to shift from agriculture to industrialization, but slowly and gradually they realized that there were a lot of limitations in putting overemphasis on industrialization, because it is very important that the per capita income of the population also goes high, and which is not possible only with industrialization. Now, currently in Indian scenario, if you see the contribution of agriculture in the overall GDP is hardly 15%, which used to be more than 30% a couple of decades ago, right? But due to lack of policies and lack of, I would say, the extended support, this particular sector was not able to grow in leaps and bounds. So what I would say is that industrial and agricultural development both are very, very important for the growth of any economic activity and the overall economy of the country as well. So it is not an alternative for each other, but I would say that they complement each other, and they are very much required that, and it is very much required that they mutually support each other for development of the overall economy. Now, why agricultural sector, as the topic says, that how the agriculture sector can contribute to the overall growth and development of the economy. So quickly coming on to that, the agriculture sector has a lot of advantages to the overall economy. The first is, as I said, that currently in India, it contributes to 15% of the overall GDP, right? So which is less, definitely, as the previous panel members also suggested, that there has to be a lot of emphasis given to this particular sector. And with latest reforms and technologies, definitely we can bring this contribution to the overall GDP. Slowly and gradually we can increase it, and maybe if things go right, then definitely we can even achieve more than 30% contribution in overall GDP. The second important aspect is, as we all are aware, that agriculture is the source of food supply, right? So, and we know that no nation can survive without a proper and efficient food channel, right? So agriculture is one of the major parameters in this, and it is one of the major sources for food supply for the whole population. The third factor is it is also a prerequisite for raw material for many of the cottage, small scale and medium scale industries as well. So if we consider the FMCG industry, the food industry, so agriculture forms a major, I would say, prerequisite for the raw material for these industries. So it also plays very important role for the other industries apart from the agricultural sector itself. Fourth is it also becomes as a provision of surplus, because the progress in agricultural sector provides surplus for increasing the exports of agricultural products. And as we know that the exports is one of the, I would say, major factor for the overall growth of a particular country as well. So lesser is the gap between exports and imports, that is going to be better, and we will have surplus income to the country as well. Fourth point is it also helps in reducing the inequality between the rural and the urban areas as well. As we see in India, currently the entire population is rushing towards the urban area, right? And during the pandemic situation also, you might have seen that because of this COVID situation, all the people were rushing back to their native place. And that actually started with, and that actually caused the dearth of manpower in the urban sector as well. Now, these kind of situations prevail because there are lack of opportunity in the rural area of the country, right? So agriculture also plays a very vital role in terms of reducing the gap between the, or I would say rather reducing the inequality between the rural and the urban areas as well. The fifth point is, it is a very, I would say, everybody would have witnessed that in the current pandemic situation, when all the industries were struggling, food was one of the industries which actually showed substantial growth, right? So whether it is, let's say, healthy food, or whether it is a junk food, whatever is there, but still the food industry showed substantial growth because in any kind of situation, whether it is economic depression, whether it is a pandemic situation, we can survive without, let's say, industrial production. We can survive without other amenities, but it is not possible for any human being to survive without food. So agriculture plays a very vital role, and I can say that I personally have witnessed that there were a lot of small businessmen and medium scale businessmen who actually started shifting their business from other areas to agriculture sector, right? Many of them started becoming vendors for agricultural products, at the same time related industries as well. So this, it becomes one of the, I would say, saviors in case of economic depression and pandemic kind of situation as well. Then sixth is it is also a source of foreign exchange for the country, right? So as I said that the growth of any particular economy is measured in terms of how I would say a good in a good manner they are supplied with their food supplies, right? So no matter you might be very good at in your let's say resources, there would be countries who might be having good natural resources like oil is there, metal is there, and everything is there, but then it is very difficult for them to survive without agricultural products. So what these kind of countries do is they have to import agricultural products from outside. So wherein India as a country can play a very vital role, because luckily we are having a very good resource in terms of agricultural products and agricultural yield as well. And I would say fortunately the environment conditions are also not that extreme and not that extreme bad that we have to depend on foreign countries for our food requirements. So it can also be a major source of foreign exchange for the country as well, particularly for a country like India. At the same time, agriculture is also very, very important for employment opportunities for rural people. Right now, as we know that 60 to 70% of our working population is located in rural India, which many of the people are not aware, right? Because people feel that more of employment is there only in the urban areas, and that's why they keep on rushing to the urban side of the country, right? But the matter of the fact is that 60 to 70% of employment takes place in the rural India itself. And this is where agriculture can play a very vital role to, I would say, enhance and upgrade the employment opportunities for the overall population of the country as well. At the same time, as the employment opportunities comes in, the entrepreneurship opportunity comes in for the rural India in terms of agriculture, it also helps in improving the overall rural welfare. And as the majority of the population is also based in rural India, so the rural welfare is also going to contribute to the overall development of the country as well. And lastly, why agriculture is important? Because agriculture is also one of the important tool of increasing the revenue to the government, through which all the infrastructure across the country is being developed, right? So because agriculture, the major part of the revenue which is received by the government is through land revenue, irrigation charges, agricultural income tax, and so on and so forth. So I think that because of these all quoted reasons, agriculture plays a very vital role, and definitely it can be one of the building blocks for the overall economy of a country as well. That's it from my side.
So thanks a lot, sir. It's always a pleasure to hear from you. And thank you very much for covering all the major aspects of having agriculture industry's major role that we would be facing post COVID, and we have faced in between this time of pandemic as well. So moving ahead, we have received certain questions from our viewers, which I would like to definitely give to the panel members so that you can have a discussion on that and can answer that. So first question that I have received is for Mr. Bhagat Singh. Sir, we have this question that what is the major role of organic and chemical fertilizers considering the current situations and future prospects?
Thank you, Ankit. I will like to take all the viewers, so like around 30 years back when hardly any chemical fertilizer was being used. Like there were many limited resources like urea, DAP, and some chemicals. And mostly farmyard manure was being used because everyone was having wonderful livestock. But with the changing times, distribution of the land and land ownership. Am I audible, Ankit?
Yes, sir. Totally.
Yeah. So with the small lands and no livestock, the things have completely changed, and introduction of chemical fertilizers came into picture. So after excessive use of all the chemical fertilizers since last 3 decades, today we stand where we are really suffering with unfertile lands, and cost of production have gone up. And now it's a time when our farmers are seeing, our scientists are seeing, our government is seeing to have alternate possibilities to go back to nature and to promote organic farming, so that the mother nature can be brought to a normal this thing. So now it's a challenge the industry is seeing, how to get a similar kind of output or a similar kind of volumes from our the same farmland with organic applications. So now the good thing is to balance both uh, inorganic and organic for some time, and then slowly shift to more of organic farming. So this is what the situation is.
Thank you very much, sir. Adrit ji, I have one question for you as well. We have one of our viewers who would like to know that what are the expectations of digitization in the field of agriculture? So, what things we can expect from having digitization in agriculture, which will benefit the field, or how we can carry it forward?
Yeah, definitely. So digitizing agriculture means that we are able to retrieve all the information in the agricultural field in the form of a software, or say we are installing any sensors, any hardware, and we are getting information. So how it will help? It will help in many ways, because it will help us to predict the stress regions in the field, in terms of crop stress, in terms of nutrient stress, in terms of water stress. So this will help the farmers to identify the locations where they need to put some extra focus in terms of applying nutrients, or say applying fertilizers, or say applying pesticides. And also it will help to identify the water stress regions in terms of your different parameters. So this will help. And the other benefits that will be that due to this whole management, due to by incorporating the different informations in the form of digital farming. So this will help in saving the cost of production in many times. So that is the direct benefit.
Good. Thank you very much, sir. Uh, One question I have received for Mr. Santosh Nair. Sir, we have a viewer who is having one question that, as we had a discussion from all three of you, that yes, definitely agriculture industry is getting boosted up. And whatever the conditions would be, definitely till the time we have human beings on the earth, agriculture industry is something which is giving us the food. So that is something which definitely would be there throughout the years and after. So the student is asking that what job roles which we have available for the fresher students, in particular this agriculture sector. Hello, Santosh sir. I think he's facing some technical issues. So this is what I was talking about, that many a times digital environment also kept us, you know, into certain things by which we also need to rethink about that how we can make it more better. Yeah. Okay. Let's move ahead. I'll just have a word with, yes, Santosh sir, am I audible now?
Yeah, Ankit.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Sorry, actually, there is some interruption in the internet
Yes,
connection.
yes, sir.
Can
That is
you
totally.
just repeat the question?
Yes. So the question was that what all job roles are there available for the fresher students in this particular sector of agriculture?
Okay. So, see, agriculture is a very vast and dynamic field, right? But it is apparently a bit newer field as compared to the education sector, if I say, because the market for the agriculture students. So, I'll just quickly brief you about the job roles that are available. One is the role of agricultural engineer, right? Now, agricultural engineer is an engineer who integrates technology with farming, and which is one of the prerequisites in the current scenario. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So, for example, let's say these agriculture engineer, they design new and improved farming equipment that may work more efficiently or perform new tasks. Right now, they also design and build agricultural infrastructure such as dams, water reservoirs, warehouses, and other structures. They may also help engineer solutions for pollution control at large farms. Then some agricultural engineers are also developing new forms of biofuels from non-food resources like algae and agricultural waste. So there are a lot of options for an agricultural engineer. But then now, if you see that many of the agriculture engineers in the southern part of the country, particularly from Kerala and Tamil Nadu and all those places, they have developed a lot of non-conventional source of energy through agricultural waste. And a lot of biofuels also have been designed and invented and developed by these students. So one of the options is of agricultural engineer, right? Second is of agricultural food scientist. Now, this agricultural food scientists, they usually conduct experiments and they analyze data about crops and food production methods. Now, these scientists may also use their findings to create new and innovative ways to increase agricultural output or to improve the quality of our food supply. So if I say that in India, the overall land which is under agricultural cultivation is much higher, but then the overall productivity is very less. So these scientists can play a major role in terms of identifying innovative ways about how to increase the overall agricultural output and the quality as a whole. The third role also could be in that of an agricultural inspector. Usually in India, this thing has not much developed as of now, right? Because there are a lot of constraints. But if you talk about developed countries, they do have an agricultural inspector who scrutinizes all agricultural food products and processing methods to ensure that these products are safe to eat and drink, right? Unfortunately, in India, we don't have any kind of pesticide norms, or maybe the norms are there, but then it is on paper, right? But on actual in the scenario, the not lot of this thing inspection and everything is done in that front. Then fourth area is the that of an agricultural manager, which in India we usually call as farm managers, right? Now these agricultural managers can plan and coordinate for various operations of farms, nurseries, greenhouses, and other agricultural production sites. So in larger work settings, they may also hire and train farmers to take care for the crops under their supervision. So basically, they can actually make the unorganized sector in a very organized and professional way, right? So that is one of the roles of the agricultural managers. Apart from this, we also have a lot of other opportunities in India, like agricultural loan officers are there in banks, which usually cater to the rural market, right? At the same time, they also help in providing loans to the farmers and the ways to how to generate capital and this thing investment for their projects in agricultural field. Then we have operation managers in fertilizer units, right? Because there are a lot of fertilizer and chemical companies in India. So the agriculture engineer can also play a role of operation manager over there. At the same time, they can also take up roles of production managers in agro-based industries, right? And ancillary, I would say related industries. Then they can also work as food processing units. They can work in food processing units in government. Then seed technology firm. So recently there have been a lot of seed technology firms coming up in India as well, right? So these engineers, or let's say BSc, MSc graduates, can also work in that particular field. Apart from that, they can also be agripreneurs, right? So as we have heard of entrepreneurs, so now there is a new term which is agripreneur. So wherein they can actually come up with investment, substantial investment in the agricultural field and new ways and techniques or innovative practices to develop agriculture and get more yield and productivity. At the same time, one of the I would say very disputed area is that of a business development manager, right? Now, which many of the students are not willing to take because they feel that I am a technical guy, I am from agricultural field, what is the use, or what would be the career path for, or how would be the career path for me as a business development manager. But let me tell you that in the current scenario, business development is one of the most important element for any business. Even because I am into the education industry, I can claim that in education industry also business development has taken the key place, right? Because until unless you get enrollments from the students, similarly you don't get business in the agricultural sector, you are not going to survive and sustain for a longer period of time. And that is where the agricultural sector also fails to a major extent, because we have good yield, we have good productivity, but then we don't have a proper channel. We are not able to reach to the market on time. We are not able to explore the major markets which are there, which are having good demands, right? Because the sector is a very unorganized sector, and people are not able to develop the channel in such a way that it can actually help the farmers, right? So there are a lot of middlemen there, and then the farmers are not able to directly get in touch with the customers or the end users. So business development manager also plays a very important role in agricultural sector. So I think these are the areas I already explained around the 8 to 10 opportunities that are available for the agricultural students.
Thank you very much, sir. Definitely, it would help our students to explore more into what all opportunities they have, other than the rituals are like that. Only we have 3, 4, 5 type of jobs that we have, and definitely this particular discussion will help them to explore more onto the new and the upcoming opportunities that they would be having, being an agriculture engineer or BSc agriculture. So one point that we had a discussion about in between this is entrepreneurship also is a very important part of agriculture field. We have two different questions from two students. First is that first is specifically to Bhagat Singh sir, that what kind of role Highfield AG is playing in promoting entrepreneurship in biostimulant industry. And another question is basically on that entrepreneurship only, that how do startup in agriculture industry can be taken up, and how the students can build up any structure or chain by which our farmers can get some more profit. So first question is specifically for Bhagat Singh sir, and the second question related to students that we have. We have our three panel members. Any of you can or all of you can answer that. First, starting with you, Bhagat Singh sir. Sir, you need to unmute your audio. Yeah.
Thank you, Ankit. It's my favorite question. कि मैं क्या करूं? I will be speaking in English and Hindi so that most of the viewers, जितने भी दोस्त लोग हैं, वो सचमुच इंडस्ट्री में थोड़ा सा सही तरीके से झांक पाए कि वो सचमुच क्या कर सकते हैं. I think that's fine. Everyone can understand Hindi, English, both, दोनों भी.
Yes, yes, sir.
Right. तो जब हम बायोस्टिमुलेंट इंडस्ट्री के बारे में बात करें, तो या हम ऑर्गेनिक फर्टिलाइजर इंडस्ट्री के बारे में बात करें, तो आज के तारीख में यह इंडस्ट्री अनऑर्गेनाइज्ड है, एंड दैट्स अ गुड न्यूज. Like pesticide, there are many stringent norms to start a unit and to thrive and survive. But for a biostimulant industry, एक organic fertilizer industry डालने के लिए, there are no licenses, no typical licenses required as such. बहुत अच्छे प्रोडक्ट्स जो कि प्रोटीन बेस्ड हैं, सीवीड बेस्ड हैं, जैसे संतोष नायर जी बता रहे थे अलगी के बारे में। तो अलगी प्रोसेसिंग बहुत बड़ा बिजनेस है। प्रोटीन एक्सट्रैक्शन और उसके बेस पे बायोस्टिमुलेंट्स बनाना ये बहुत अच्छा बड़ा और प्रॉफिटेबल बिजनेस है। अमीनो एसिड्स आर अ वंडरफुल supplements. They are like near to alternate of NPKs. तो जहां पर भी NPK कम पड़ जाते हैं वहां पर अमीनो एसिड्स और प्रोटीन्स का रोल जो है बहुत बड़ा देखा जा रहा है एंड वर्ल्ड वाइड। देन कम्स ह्यूमस एंड फुल्विक एसिड्स। तो ये कुछ मॉलिक्यूल्स हैं जो कि आज के तारीख में बहुत अच्छा कंट्रीब्यूट कर रहे हैं इंडियन इंडस्ट्री में। यू विल नॉट बिलीव, last 15 years, more than 5,000 units across India, they came which never existed. और ये सभी स्मॉल स्केल इंडस्ट्री में आए हैं। जो लागत है इसके ऊपर, जो इन्वेस्टमेंट है, जो इन्वेंटरीज लगती हैं वो बहुत कम लगती हैं। प्रॉफिट और मार्जिन्स आर फंटास्टिक। रिजल्ट ओरिएंटेड प्रोडक्ट्स आप बना सकते हैं। एक बंदा जो मैनेजमेंट फील्ड से हो या बीएससी या एमएससी एग्री बैकग्राउंड से हो, वो बंदा ये काम बहुत अच्छे से कर पाता है। सिर्फ एक केवल पैशन की जरूरत होती है, एक करेज की जरूरत होती है कि अपना प्रोडक्ट लेकर जाएं फार्मर्स तक, मार्केट तक, और उसको मार्केट करें। सो आई विल डेफिनेटली रिकमेंड ऑल आवर व्यूअर्स, ऑल आवर फ्रेंड्स जो एग्रीकल्चर में कुछ काम करना चाहते हैं, तो बायोस्टिमुलेंट इंडस्ट्री उनके लिए बहुत अच्छा वेलकमिंग इंडस्ट्री है। बहुत कम समय में दे विल फील दे आर सेटल्ड, दे आर ग्रोइंग, दे आर प्रोग्रेसिंग। मॉनिटरली नॉलेज के हिसाब से और मार्केट में एक अच्छा नेम फेम कमाने के हिसाब से भी, तो सभी स्टार्टअप्स के हिसाब से भी ये बहुत ही लुक्रेटिव इंडस्ट्री है। दैट्स ऑल।
Thank you very much, sir. One question that we had is how to do startup in agriculture, and another is that how to build up any structure or chain by which the farmers can get some more profit. That is one of our student is asking. So, any panel member, if you can give your views on this thing, that how they can build up any structure or chain or something like that by which they can get some more profit for our farmers.
Yeah, Ankit, definitely I will like to go for it.
Sure, sir.
Nowadays we are seeing there are many hyper markets coming in and they are all agri marts. जितने भी अच्छे तालुका प्लेसेस हैं, स्ट्रॉन्ग पोटेंशियल बेल्ट्स हैं, तो वहां पर हाइपर मार्केट्स जो हैं बहुत अच्छे से अभी मशरूम हो रहे हैं। तो ये एग्री मार्ट्स आर अ वंडरफुल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर टू एक्सप्लोर many kinds of possibility in agriculture marketing or agriculture input marketing. तो and they are very profitable. अगर फार्मर के हिसाब से अगर हम बात करें तो जो भी कुछ प्रोसेसेस हैं, यानी फार्मर प्रोड्यूसिंग कंपनीज जो हैं उनके साथ में जुड़कर वो बहुत अच्छा काम कर सकते हैं, बिकॉज देयर इंडिविजुअल स्ट्रेंथ इज वेरी लेस। बट नाउअडेज फार्मर प्रोड्यूसिंग कंपनी जितने भी हैं वो बहुत अच्छा सपोर्ट कर पा रही है एंड दे आर एबल टू गेट बेटर say like income for the farmers. So this is how the farmer is benefited.
Thanks a lot, sir. So I hope Miss Ami Chauhan has got the answer of her question. One question that I have received for Mr. Adrij is that what are the major benefits we can expect from the field by accepting the digitization in agriculture?
So the first point that comes in my mind while I talk of benefit of digitizing agriculture is that the farmers will be able to manage the resources better in terms of soil, in terms of water, in terms of any inputs in the form of chemicals, in the form of water, anything. The management of field will be much better and much more, much more profitable, because the harvest quality, because this entire thing depends on the amount of, when the quality of what I can say, the quality of field management that you do directly impacts the harvest. So by digitizing agriculture, you are directly not only increasing the amount of harvest, but you are also upgrading the quality of harvest. So that is the direct benefit.
Sure. Thank you very much, sir. One last question which I have for Mr. Santosh Nair is that, sir, what according to you are the factors that would motivate the new generation to take up the field of agriculture as a career option?
Okay. So now see, as I said, that agriculture is one of the essential element of any economy for a particular country, right? So, but particularly in context of India, I would say that the major benefit for agricultural sector is that around 60 to 70% of our working population is in rural India, right? So this is one of the factors which will actually help this particular industry to grow, right? And I think that most of the students who are coming and taking up this particular course are also from the rural background, or maybe they're having an agricultural setup or some agricultural kind of background, right? So the motivation for the student is that they can actually direct the entire economy to a totally new direction, right? Definitely, the entire country is running towards the urban side of the nation, right? At the same time, they are also getting into the industrialization, and everybody is actually working on that. But then there are very less number of people who are actually dreaming of pursuing a career or coming up with some strategy and developing the agricultural sector of the country, right? And this is a way, one of the most satisfying jobs as well, because you are I would say working close to the land, right? And you are contributing something to the overall benefit of the entire country and the and its population as well. Secondly, the major motivating factor is that, as Bhagat ji said, that it is a totally unorganized sector. So that is the biggest strength for this particular sector, right? Because this is a sector where still a lot of things has to be done, which is not applicable to the other side, that is the industrial side of the economy, right? So in industrial side also there are a lot of things which can be done, but definitely there is a lot of competition over there. There are a lot of other factors, right? So it is very difficult to grow over there. But then in agricultural sector, there is very less amount of population which is actually willing to work in this particular sector. And secondly, it is a totally unorganized sector. So there is a lot of potential in this particular sector, which can actually enable for to an individual to grow. At the same time, they can contribute substantially to the overall development of the economy as well. And nothing can be more satisfying than directly contributing to the economy of the country, right? Secondly, once you are working with the rural side of the country, there are a lot of new initiatives, there are a lot of innovative practices that you can come up with. So there is a huge scope of experimenting in this particular sector. So a lot of people who would want to develop a career, they might be very much carried away by, let's say, the fancy things of the I would say the industrial growth and the fourth industrial revolution and all of those, the technology and the service sector, and a lot of things are there, right? But then all these things they can utilize and they can start experimenting in the agricultural sector as well, which nobody is doing. So that is one of the biggest motivation factor, at the same time a biggest scope also for developing you as an entrepreneur, or maybe developing yourself as an employee for a particular field, right? So I think these factors can definitely help. Secondly, if you see the Indian scenario, that the employment which was there in agricultural sector a decade ago was much higher as compared to the employment that we are currently having in the agriculture sector, because the agriculture sector is not growing to the extent that it can grow. As I said in the beginning of the session also, that India had the privilege to be an agrarian economy. So agrarian economy is a very important fact which we have actually underestimated and we have totally ignored, right? So if something substantial can be done, and to the new youth of the country, as everybody is talking about eco, green, and this kind of environment, right? Everybody is blaming to the environment that because let's say we have not taken good care of the environment, and that's the reason that this kind of pandemic situation are arising, right? So this is an opportunity for the upcoming generation to contribute to the environment. At the same time, through agricultural sector, they can contribute both to the environment, at the same time they can contribute to the overall growth of the country as well. So that is my take on this.
Thank you very much, sir. So, having this fruitful discussion, this is all the questions that we had today from the students and the viewers. Having discussed all these particular things, I have if I can go for a specific conclusion from this panel discussion, I can say, considering the opportunities, the sustainability, the growth, the profitability, the economical development due to the business, the entrepreneurship related the ways that this particular field is opening up, the digitization that we are expecting to develop, and the economical growth that our company would that our country would be having, agriculture industry is there in all these fields, which definitely take us ahead from this 21st century to grow more and more with all the aspects available currently. So I definitely can conclude from this panel discussion that agriculture industries taking positively will definitely grow ahead and get a very fruitful market for all of us to sustain and get and create more opportunities for future. So I think for all the students and viewers, those who have joined with us, you people are there in a good field which you have chosen to go ahead with. And definitely till the time we have industries like Highfield and Farmernaut with us, definitely we can continue the growth till the time we can expect some more growth even higher than this one. So this is what the conclusion I have from my side. Thank you very much to all the panel members, specifically to come across, get your specific and valuable time for all our viewers to get the details about this particular field which we are having the discussion about. And post COVID, definitely it is something new for all of us to go ahead with, but we can sustain, and it will create more new ways for the opportunities to come. Thank you very much, all of you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
We would be expecting some more like this sessions in near future as well. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, Bhagat Singh ji, for all your time. Adrit ji, Santosh sir, for all the efforts that you have put forward for our students to keep the learning process going on. Thank you very much.
Pleasure. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir. Bhagat sir. So, thank you.
Yeah, Bhagat ji, thank you.
Santosh sir, thank you.
Yeah,
Ankit ji,
thank you. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Yeah,
Thank
please
you.
take care. We'll meet soon then. Yeah, thank you very much.